All right, we should be live right about now. Awesome. Okay. This time I'm not really gonna do an audio check. I think we've done it enough over the last couple of days. Things should be working. I've still not switched to the new mic, which is a little bit sad, but this afternoon, while I broke for lunch, I basically just unpacked the mic and I discovered there are a lot of pieces to it. It's an interesting setup, right? There is, the stand which I have to sort of assemble, the pop filter which I need to attach, a bunch of other things, and I discovered that that's probably going to take a little more time than I had today, especially because work kind of overran. That's the reason why it's a little bit late as of when I'm starting this. Specifically, it's around 10 p.m. right now, India time. It's 10:06. Which is approximately an hour later than I'd usually like to start. Like, I'd like to start by like 9 p.m. India time or like 8:30 ideally. But yeah, today I was working till around 9:15 and it sort of just, went way beyond how long I thought it would take. So yeah, such things happen. Anyway, so this might be a slightly shorter stream, might go for an hour and a half. Plan to do a lot more things today, but for the most part, the main thing that we're going to do is we are actually going to start setting up the repository. We're going to talk a little bit about Kotlin, and hopefully we can get around to searching, looking up, starting some of the basic fundamental parts of the code that we are going to do. Maybe a little bit of prototyping. It's possible that none of the code that we're going to write today is actually going to end up in the final version of the project. Because we will be constantly refactoring, we will be constantly pulling things out, putting things in, and it's going to change a lot of things as we go along, right? And one thing I do want to do is sort of attach my graphics tablet, which I will do later. I think I'll just well, that was the water bottle. I think I'll just take it out of the shelf. Just give me a moment. Yeah, right. So this beauty, I don't have any space to place it on the desk, so it's gonna be on my lap while we actually go over the bit for the design, because I think design always requires a little bit of diagramming. It's possible to make diagrams using like graphical tool editors online available, like graphics. Shit, I forgot the name. What is that website? The one that lets you... Oh yeah, draw.io. So there is this one, which redirects to app.diagrams.net, but you can sort of just create, like, for example, if I create a class diagram, you can make things that look like this, which is really nice. But at the same time, this is nice, of course, and it's very searchable and things like that. But for the most part, what we're going to do is we're going to go light on the diagramming. We're not going to like make a whole UML diagram. We aren't really going to go overboard with that, because that's kind of antithetical to the sort of development we're trying to do. Also, the audio should be a lot louder now. The background audio, you should be able to hear it in the background. I have balanced it a little bit better. Hopefully that should actually come through in the stream, and like it should sound nice. So like I mentioned on the last stream, that's github.audio, which you can find here. Just a moment. github.audio, which produces a nice little beat. No, beat is the wrong word. It's just this nice hum which you get from pull requests and these light ding sounds which come in from people committing code and things like that. So you can read all about it on the website. So it's just https://github.audio. I like to use this a lot for when I code. I used to use this a lot. These days, I usually listen to post-rock compilations on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure that most of those aren't really copyright safe for sort of playing on stream. So for now, we're going to stick with this. This is generated audio. It's quite nice. And we're just going to leave this in the background of most of our streams. If you guys have any other ideas for stuff you'd like to listen to in the background, as long as it doesn't have lyrics, I'm open to consider it. And of course, I don't really think I can spring for licensed music right now, but anything which is generated, for instance, rainymood.com, things like that. If you guys want anything different, let me know. I've made a few changes to the channel as well, added a suggestion box and things like that. So, feel free to just drop into, whatever you want. So yeah, that's cool. Anyway, all that notwithstanding, like, we are basically just gonna directly get started, create a new repository, and just sort of work our way from there, right? And we will quickly come to the point where we are working on the design. Actually, let's start with that right now, because I think that's really going to change the way we choose to structure this. Is really going to change how we how we do things overall. So I'm just going to open OpenBoard. There is also Microsoft Whiteboard, I think, which can be used, but for now I'm just going to use OpenBoard because, like, yeah, whatever, it just loads up a little bit faster. Hang on. Yeah, this is gonna be a bit painful for the time being. Let me just connect my graphics tab. So I usually use my graphics tablet on the mouse pad, like, because I have my mouse to the left of it, and generally use my mouse at either 2400 or 3600 DPI, which makes the mouse move across the screen really fast when I, just move it a little bit. So I don't actually need like a lot of space on the mouse pad unless I'm gaming. So what I usually do is I just use that to the rest of the space on the mouse pad to just keep the graphics tablet. But for now, I have the mic, which has a little bit of additional setup, so I can't really leave it there. I don't have the space for it, so I'm just gonna leave it on my lap. And yeah, I hope this works out properly. Anyway, what was the shortcut again? Control H. Yeah, there we go. I just need to fire up the graphics driver for this tablet driver setting. Come on, boy. Is that working? Fantastical. Okay. Amazing. Okay. So let's begin, right? So what are we trying to do is we have okay. So like I mentioned on yesterday's stream, the overall idea is that we have an Android app, right? So right, which essentially whenever there is an SMS, this needn't be an SMS, it's like essentially a notification source, right? You can think of it as a purchase notification source, but for now we'll just code it for SMS first, right? So an SMS comes in. The moment this comes in, it triggers an event on the Android app. So there's something on the Android app, a process, part of our app, a process which listens for incoming SMSs, right? And we'll work on how that's done later. In fact, I don't remember it myself. I know it's possible, I just don't remember how it's done. So it listens for incoming SMSs, and when there is an incoming, when an SMS comes in, it takes the SMS content, it reads it. So this is the text of the SMS, right? And it essentially parses this, right? In order to get an object out, which has a bunch of different fields, right? So for example, one of the basic things it is gonna have is that it's gonna tell you, so one of the basic things it's gonna have is that it's going to have an amount on it, right? Which is gonna be a positive number if you have gotten, credited, or it's gonna be a negative number if you've gotten debited, which is usually gonna be the case. There's gonna be a comment, which is something that the user adds, which is gonna be a string, right? And there's also gonna be, there could be a category. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Okay. Probably should wash my hands after that one. Take a tissue to it for the time being. No, wait. I have portable sanitizer. Keep forgetting I have this. So, hang on a moment. Yep, there we go. Wash your hands, kids. Yeah. gets a little bit stuffy and cold in the evenings. I'm perfectly fine. Don't have a cold or anything like that, thankfully. That is really scary these days, isn't it? Like, if you actually fall sick for normal reasons, it's kind of scary because like the immediate assumption that folks have, like that even you would have usually, is that you've got the coronavirus, which is, it's honestly terrifying. It's kind of sad because like usually you expect to fall sick once, maybe, sometimes 2 times, maybe more than that a year, right? Like it's normal. People fall sick, people have fevers, people have colds, the seasons change, the bodies aren't able to keep up. It's perfectly normal, but these days everyone's just desperately trying to avoid falling sick. It's not considered a normal thing anymore, which is really sad, but well, what can you say? Such is life. Anyway, so we have a category, which is again something which is set by the user, which could be among a set of categories, right? Like a single category among a set of categories. For now, we will just consider a single category. We might want to expand that in the future, that's fine. But it's going to be some category, and this is like some object type which we haven't yet defined. That's fine. There's going to be a category associated with an amount. From the SMS, like we're creating this object obviously in our code, right? But from the SMS text, what we're going to pull out is the amount. The comment, the category, all this is going to come from the user, right? So both of these are going to come from the user, which is going to essentially, like when you get an SMS, it pops up a notification on your phone which asks you to add a comment immediately so that you can remember this purchase, right? That's really the primary functionality that I want to code into it, because I keep going back in my purchase logs, which the bank sends you, like, your credit card statements and things like that. And I go like, when did I make these purchases? Like, I look at a bunch of things. They're always to sellers who I don't really recognize, because, the seller names which are registered with the credit card companies aren't always the names of the shops that you actually buy at. They're usually some other parent entity, some other company, right? Stuff like that. Oh, hang on. Crap. I'm sorry, my man. Who is this? Okay. Yeah, we are already having spammers in chat. That's sad. That is so sad. Wait, how do I click out of this? Hang on. Well, what did I just do? Oh shit, okay. That was OBS. Just go back here. That's weird. Okay, I'll pop that out. Sorry guys, just a little bit of Twitch nonsense. Okay. So so let's go back to this. All right. So we're having SMS. Okay, the text comes in. So these two come in from the user, but usually from the SMS text, we should be able to get the amount. We should be able to get who the seller is, right? And this is also probably going to be string, right? Which, is usually going to be like, the entity to who the purchase was, you've made the purchase to, or the entity who has sent you money, right? The other end of the transaction, as it were, the user at the other end of the transaction. So you're going to have that information. You might have something else, right? We'll come to that, right? So, but for the most part, you should have like the amount and the seller, right? And you may or may not have a balance which is left. And this is useful because while we can maintain a balance by ourselves, sometimes what happens is that you get a repeat SMS due to network issues, due to things like that. So what happens sometimes is that you have essentially your bank sending you a, like an SMS, and say, for example, it says that you paid $50 to someone, right? You paid $50 to some shop, right? So yeah, cool. So, and then what happens is that the same SMS comes twice, right? So if you're maintaining a balance by yourself, so if you're maintaining that your account has $2,000 in it, and you paid $50 to a shop, and this SMS comes twice, right? If this happens a second time, what's going to happen is it's going to subtract that, and it's going to take your balance down, in the app. Whatever the app maintains, the records the app maintains, it's going to pull it down to 1900, right? So it's going to go from 2000 to 1950, and then it's going to go down to 1900. But the actual amount was this, because one of these SMSs was just a repeat, right? It was just something that was sent a second time by accident. So we really want to record this only once. So that's where the balance comes useful, right? Of course, in some cases, we may not actually have this. That depends on the bank. That depends on the specifics of that. So we may not have this amount, right? So if that's the case, we won't really be able to, synchronize our records with what the bank has that easily, right? So in those cases, fairly simple. We add functionality for the user to open the app and to be able to, just sort of like, he should be able to open the app and fix that balance amount himself, going like, hey, this is not the balance I have. But for the most part, the transaction history should be fairly accurate, right? The transaction history should be correct. And of course, the user should be allowed to delete a transaction. Like in this case, for instance, if it appears twice, he should be able to delete one of them, right? So that's pretty much it. And hang on, which of these is undo? Yeah, that one. Okay. So and then apart from that, let's see now. Okay, so we have that, and the basic framework, the basic let's just chart out, right? Because even I'm not really certain on where we get started with this right now. So the basic framework for how we're going to design this, just to get an idea of how many different moving pieces there are at a very macroscopic level, right? At the very top, just to get an idea of that, right? Let's just start out what exactly is going to happen in terms of, so we are going to have some portion of it, which is going to be an Android app, right? Which is Android specific components, right? So all of this, we're going to have to rewrite. We're going to have to write a separate module for, if we want to port this over to iOS, or if we want to, that's not going to happen on this stream, by the way. I don't own a device which can code on iOS. Like essentially, you want to write an iPhone app, you have to own a MacBook or something like that. I don't. That's not going to happen here, but on the assumption that you did, right? If you wanted to do that. So this would have to be one module, right? Of course, we could write a desktop app, we could write a web app, which may be a thing which we might do, right? Let's just see, like when it comes around to it, how much interest I have in the project at that point of time. But the thing is, this is going to be a separate module, right? So we have an Android module, which kind of communicates, right? With a, like essentially whenever the user presses a key, like presses a UI element, right? A button, a text box, a submit button, whatever it is, right? It's gonna call our actual processing logic, essentially, which in our case is fairly simple, right? All it's gonna do is it's gonna pass in the text from the SMS, right? And how we get this is another question, right? So we're going to have like separate sort of notification providers, listeners for that. So we'll come to that. But it's going to pass in the text of the SMS, right? So the notification text, it's going to pass in that. Plus any other metadata, right? In our case, this metadata is going to be the comment, right? That we add, plus the category, plus, maybe anything else, right? That we might decide to add in the future, but it's going to be the notification. So so notification text is literally what's coming in from the SMS, right? The bank SMS sends you this. The metadata is whatever stuff the user decides to add on top of that. It's going to send that to a library, okay, which is a separate module from this, right? Now they're both going to be written in Kotlin because, hey, we're going to start with this one and we're going to write this one in Kotlin because Kotlin is cool. And I'll come to why later. But the nice part about Kotlin is that it also supports Android as an Android supports Kotlin as a first party language. In other words, you can write Kotlin code natively and, without having to perform any extra conversions or anything like that. The APIs are all accessible in Kotlin for Android, like all the Android APIs and all that stuff. So that's a nice part. We can use the same language for both of these things, right? Cool. So we're going to write the Android app in Kotlin, and we are also going to write the library in Kotlin. And that's like two pieces, right? And the library is going to return, essentially, it's going to return to the Android app, right? Some sort of an object, right? Which is indicative of one particular purchase, as it were, right? One particular transaction, right? I'm going to call it transaction because purchase always implies that you're spending money, but this should work for both spending and receiving money, right? Like, for example, I get a notification from my bank whenever my salary gets credited, or whenever somebody, when there's like a chargeback which goes through, right, for my credit card. Like, there's a canceled transaction, some failed transaction, so certain amount of money was deducted, the same amount of money comes back. So whatever that is, that's like essentially it's a positive credit of money in your account. So that's a transaction, right? I'm going to call it a transaction for now. Again, we have ways in IntelliJ to sort of bulk rename stuff. So we will use that if we need to, right? If we feel like these aren't appropriate names when we come around to it, we'll use that. And you guys are welcome to suggest like any kind of naming stuff that you might want to see. Anyway, so we have, the Android app. We have Kotlin, which is the library, right? And there's also the visualization aspect, right? So remember, we had like a couple of things, right? One is we want to record transactions. I'm really sorry for the shitty handwriting, but I'm not used to writing it in, keeping the graphics tablet where I've kept it. But one is we want to record transactions, right? So that's an R. I am so sorry. That is horrendous. Oh my God. My first grade teacher would kill me. She was the one who taught me cursive. I had the best fucking cursive handwriting when I was a child. I was so good at it. I used to write super neat cursive. I don't know what happened. My mom says my handwriting looks like crow shit. She's probably right. Anyway. Okay, so that's one. Record transactions. Right? Okay. So we have so that was one. I completely threw myself on a tangent there and completely forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah. We want to record transactions, right? We want to record transactions. In other words, we want to know when a transaction occurs. We want to alert the user, right? So one is, when does a transaction occur? And, we want to alert the user, right? And we want to store this long term. And two is we want to retrieve transactions. That is, we should be able to get a list of transactions. Probably, okay. You know what? Not going to write that word at all. I'm just going to use this to indicate, it's the same thing as above. So we want to record transactions. We want to retrieve transactions, right? Which is basically the fact that we want to be able to access the store, and we want to pull out the list of transactions, and we want to be able to query this on the basis of certain parameters. Like, I want to be able to say, what were all the purchases that I made on this particular account, like on the credit card or on the debit card or anything like that, right? You could have multiple accounts, multiple banks, multiple whatever, right? It should handle all of that. But I should be able to query that on this particular bank or on this particular account between this date and this date, right? Or between this time and this time. What were the transactions I made, right? Or I should be able to say, give me the top 10 transactions in the last month ordered by price. Something like that, right? So what we're going to make is sort of a lightweight query editor, really, right? So just like you have SQL queries, which are sort of written in English, we're gonna have a much more lightweight, skinned version of that, which obviously at its core is gonna call SQL, right? That's literally what it's gonna do. But at the same time, it's gonna so at its really at its core, it's gonna call SQL, right? So hang on, I don't know where I'm going with this. Yeah, so at its core, it's gonna call SQL, but we don't want the user in the app to actually write SQL code, right? We don't want that to happen. We want to make it such that they have a nice little interface, right? So I'm just gonna add a separate page for that. So we want to make it such that they have a nice little interface. So this is like their Android app screen, and there should be a nice box, like, so whatever, this is the search transactions page, right? And they should be having a nice little box, which is like, this is sort of like a from date, right? And this should, whatever, open when he taps this, it's supposed to open like a calendar view where he can pick, and a similar thing here to date, right? And something like this, and probably even some other thing which will be filters, right, where he can select that the amount, where he can write in an amount here. I'm sorry. And there should probably be a drop down for greater than or lesser than or whatever. He can select that and say the amount greater than this quantity, something like that. And there should also be maybe some sort options, right? So things like this, some basic stuff like this, which will limit the capabilities of what the user can query, but at the same time be useful enough such that he can get like the last 10 transactions. He can get the last 10 transactions ordered by price, whatever it is, and even filters on the category, things like that, right? So the filters can have amount, they can have category things, all sorts of stuff, right? So we should have some sort of like a thing to generate queries out of this, and this will essentially generate the SQL, which will hit the database, and it will return whatever transactions and display them on the Android app, right? So yeah, so a bunch of stuff, right? So that's that. Let's just go to the previous page. So the Android app does this, the transaction, and the third thing is, of course, visualize transactions, right? Or visualize. Yeah, well, it's kind of the same thing, right? So record, retrieve, visualize, right? We have 3 different goals with this app, and each of these goals have sort of sub goals under them, right? You kind of have ideas within ideas, really. And this is the overall structure. This is the overall sort of set of aims, the set of overall I wouldn't call them stories, not yet. Stories is in reference to a very specific agile methodology term. I don't know if you're gonna go like actual proper agile and all that in this project, because it's one person working on this. Kind of pointless. That is like way overboard, right, for any of that. So I don't think we're gonna do anything like that. We will be keeping track of all the tasks that we are working on, and we will be keeping track of ideas, like anything that pops up in our heads. And I'm gonna show you how I manage that sort of stuff. But for now, this is kind of the overall concept of it, right? This is the overall yeah. So this is just the basic structure. So yeah, so essentially, if we sort of want to pull out this design, right? So let me just, can I select all of this? Oh, that's fantastic. I love this. Okay, man, often. Okay, so beautiful. Okay, so I'm just gonna paste this over here so that I can sort of continue with this without any of the other nonsense which was there on that page. So these two are, yeah, so everything's gonna be in Kotlin for now. And the database, right? The database link is really an Android thing. So we will be using a Sqlite database, and I think Android has some concept of an ORM for it. An ORM is an object relational manager, which really is just a very fancy way of saying that it has a way of converting your database records, the rows in your database, into objects in your code. That's it. Object relational manager. Relational is basically the term that they use for databases that store things in rows and columns. That's called a relational database. Just as a very basic, I know that this is skipping over a bunch of computer science theory here, right? But just as a very, very simple explanation, a relational database is nothing but something which stores data in rows and columns, tables essentially, right? Tables linked to other tables using, what are called as relationships. But yeah, so you have like a relational database. Sqlite is a relational database. Anything with SQL in it is in general gonna be a relational database. You also have the NoSQL concept, which is not relational, and those are databases that follow other paradigms which are not SQL. And this encompasses a lot of things, right? A lot of different stuff. Most of them relatively new in terms of at least popularity. SQL, however, has been popular since our parents were children. It's been popular for years. All the boomers are using it. Everybody's using it, really. So we will be using Sqlite because Sqlite is a database that is available in the Android framework directly. You don't have to do any additional setup. You don't have to have the user install anything, nothing like that. It's all there, and it provides all the persistent local storage in the Android app. So we're going to use that, and that's really going to be a part of the Android app itself. But at the same time, the aim with this is that hypothetically, if we were to expand this project to other platforms, how much of this code can I reuse is really what I'm trying to think of here. And anytime I want to reuse components of the code, I really want to keep them in a separate repository altogether and make the Android app, or whatever's the top layer of stuff. So the Android app is obviously going to be the top layer over here because that's where the user interacts, right? And all the other stuff is internals. All of this is internals, which converts this into a transaction, things like that. But I just want to make sure that I have made the overall architecture in such a way, because this is generally a good concept, right? Where you just isolate various parts such that you can swap them out, such that you can change them, right? So I leave the code the same, but I should be able to swap out all the UI layers. I should be able to swap out all the system specific stuff such that I can, just have a separate experience for a different kind of user who's maybe on mobile, maybe on desktop, maybe on laptop, whatever it is, or maybe on the web, on something else. And you have different experiences that you can actually build separately with very little extra code being used, right? So yeah, that's kind of the overall idea of it. So yeah, okay. So where else do we go from here, right? So how do we sort of split this out? So we have some notification text and the metadata which goes into the library, and all this is just raw strings and stuff like that. Simple stuff, right? However simple we can make it, and we store that in the library. We process that in the library in order to get out a transaction object which can be dumped into the database, right? The thing is, I want to make it such that the library returns something which the app... Okay, this is actually kind of a radical idea, right? Can we make it such that... So what I'm trying to think of here, right? Just to keep my thoughts clear, just to keep this flowing, right? What I'm trying to think of here is that the transaction is an object that is created by the library. It's created and managed by the library, right? In this case. So it's created and managed by the library. It's part of the library's package, as it were, right? It's part of the library's module. This is really your interaction. This is really the thing you use to communicate, sort of, right? Actually, we shouldn't, right? We shouldn't be using a format that is specific to this library. Like, we shouldn't be using something that's internal to this library. How exactly are we gonna... Should we use a JSON object? Should we use something else? Good question. Because fundamentally what I'm trying to do is that this transaction is going to get stored, right? So it's going to get stored in the database, but it has to go back to the Android app for that, because the Android app is really what's going to have the connection to the database. It's going to hold, this database is literally sitting on the Android app, in other words, right? So of course it can choose to persist the transaction elsewhere. It can choose to persist it to some cloud service. It can choose to persist it anywhere. As long as it has the object with the data in it, it should. But I don't want this to know. I don't want the app to know about the internals, but it has to, right? Because if we want to make the search page, there was a way to open pages here. I don't remember. Open board, corner. There was a way to open all the pages that we have. That we have created. Oh yeah, maybe it's this. Oh yeah, awesome. Okay. So yeah, like something like this, right? Because this entire user interface is going to be part of the Android app. And so it needs, oh yeah, but it's going to generate SQL. If we put the SQL, like the SQL generation code, right, to convert this, right, where I just pass in an object which contains all of this data, the from date, the to date, the filters, the amount, whatever it is, right? I just package this into an object and I send it to some module which returns to me my SQL code, right? Which returns to me my SQL code, which I can then pass to the database, right? So if I have something like this, the point is, like, does it actually affect portability? Maybe I'm doing this all wrong. Maybe what I should be doing is having a single project which has, yeah, where we kind of put in the Android code and the library code, essentially whatever part of it is part of the library, in the same module for the time being, and maybe we'll experiment with splitting it out later, right? With sort of taking it and moving it to a separate repository if we feel like we need portability. I think that might be a smarter solution, because it does seem simpler to me right now, now that I think about it, because we have these three goals. And all of them involve some interaction with the Android ecosystem, right? Like recording transactions involves the reading of the SMS, and the SMS modules are present inside Android. Retrieving transactions, right, requires interaction with the database. Of course, this also requires, recording transactions also requires interaction with the database, but retrieving transactions, we need to touch the database, which is again a part of Android. And visualizing will again have some libraries, and we'll come to that later. But we'll be using some external libraries which will be specific to the platform that we're using. Because like if you migrate this project and you put it somewhere else, like if you make a web app out of it or something like that, if you make like a desktop app, you will still need to use different visualization libraries as you will on Android. Like all the elements are different. All of those are user interface elements. So those are all going to be platform specific. So yeah, I think we'll just start with Android for now. So I won't be starting with the code for the Android portion itself, but I think what we'll do is we'll kind of place it into a single repository, right? And we will split out that repository into a separate Android portion and a separate core portion, as it were, right? So this project is gonna be called Plutus, and that's because through a last minute Google search yesterday, which I did last night, fairly late last night actually, I discovered that Plutus is okay, and I don't think I require the the tablet PC for now, so I'm just going to disconnect it. Hang on. Yeah, okay, so we don't require the graphics tablet for now, so that kind of frees up the space in front of us to type. So so I discovered that Plutus is essentially the Greek god of wealth, which seems appropriate to me as the name of essentially what is an expense manager. So yeah, it's gonna be this guy. This little guy right here. That's Plutus. I don't know why he is an infant, but that seems to be the very first photo that Wikipedia has chosen to mention. So anyway, I didn't read any of the rest of the article. I literally just Googled gods of wealth, gods of money, I think. I don't remember exactly what I searched for last night. And I keep saying Google, but what I really mean is DuckDuckGo. But that's kind of all I did. Like I searched for it last night and I found this, and I was like, okay, cool. We will stop our search right here and we shall name our app Plutus, because any application requires a cool name. So Plutus is going to be the name of our app, and we will kind of, again, I probably prematurely disconnected it, but we will split it out into like a Plutus core and a Plutus Android if the need comes out to do it, in the future. But for now, we will just start with Plutus Android and we will start writing the core code for it. So let's just do that. Let's create a new project. And that's going to take some time because IntelliJ is pretty slow. Okay. SDK. Okay, we are gonna build a Gradle project. It's gonna be Gradle. We're gonna include Java because we're probably gonna have to interface with Java libraries, but we will also include Kotlin JVM. There's also Kotlin multi-platform, which is multi-targeted JVM, JS, iOS, etc. project with shared code in common modules. The target can be configured in the project's build script. Actually, now that I think of it, should I go with this one? I've never actually used the Kotlin multi-platform option before. What does it say? Multi-targeted or multi-targeted? I'm not really sure how that's supposed to be pronounced, but JVM, that's really the option that we want. JavaScript, iOS, etc. project with shared code in common modules. Okay, what about this one? Whoops. A single platform Kotlin library or application targeting the JVM. I think right now, technically, we are fine with either of these options. Hang on, that's a friend of mine. So, yeah, I think that's like an option that we have. Yeah, look, because both are pieces of code, right? The core code that we're gonna write, as well as, let's see, how do we convert? Okay, let's look that up, right? Kotlin JVM to Kotlin multi-platform, right? Let's look this up, because if this is pretty easy to do, then we won't bother with picking Kotlin multi-platform, because I don't want the size of the project and any dependencies that it pulls in, any libraries and stuff like that, to be large. Like, I don't want it to be yeah, so I don't want it to be like super large. So I don't want to pull in unnecessary dependencies. I don't want to make it something which, while I do plan to over-engineer this just a little bit, so while I do plan to over-engineer, sorry, I'm just getting messages from a friend, and I'm just, I mean, he was he was wishing me for my birthday, which was, it's not today, it was a couple of days ago. Anyway, so the point is, like, so I don't want to pull in unnecessary dependencies, just make this way larger than it has to be. I am trying to over-engineer this just so that we can sort of go over more concepts. We can, learn more things from a single project, because this is a fairly simple project at its base, and I kind of have an idea how to implement most of it. There are still a lot of open questions around the Android API and things like that, but not too worried about that part, right? Not super worried about that part. That's okay. right? So yeah, that stuff that'll just come when we look up the APIs and things like that. But for the most part, what I'm trying to do is just sort of like, while there is a certain direction of over engineering I want to take it, it's not something like this where it's not going to be a feature that we are going to use at all. So yeah, maybe we should probably go. This is completely different, by the way. This is not. Oh, it okay. It literally pulled up. Okay. I think let's just take a look at this as well, right? So let's look at different articles. Let's look at information on the internet. Try and figure out like what we need to do. Quote from Kotlin: working on all platforms is important. Blah 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 blah. Handle any and all components of a modern application. That's really good. IDE, IntelliJ, Android Studio, Xcode. Okay. Libraries. Oh, this is like a demo, isn't it? Yeah, this is more like a demo for some specific app that does something specific, similar to what I'm doing, really. But oh yeah, it's an IMDb app. Of course, it's an IMDb app. There is a really nice API for fetching movies and stuff like that. I don't think what was that called? The movie database API thing. That's like, yeah, OMDB, the Open Movie Database. This is beautiful. It's a really good simple REST service, a simple REST API, which you can. Oh, I see that they've added. Okay, where do you get a key from? Okay, I think. Okay, I mean. Yeah, see, it's quite simple. It's quite nice. Simple API. You can call this and it will literally return a JSON response to you, which will look like this. False, error, no API key. Oh yeah, shit, you need an API key. I think this thing embeds an API key somewhere when you actually do the search using JavaScript. But that's sad. They okay, but it's been years since I last looked at this. I mean, I looked at this sometime in shit, that was 2016, 2015 maybe. But it was beautiful. You didn't need an API key or anything like that. It was quite nice for a starter project. Pretty sure they must have been bombarded with requests through some assholes, and they decided to add an API key. It's kind of sad. TMDB is there though. Oh yeah, you require a user account. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. But you see how that looks like. It's quite nice. It gives you a nice, neat JSON response, which is really good for picking up all sorts of data. It has movies and stuff, which is always a nice thing to make an app out of. You have images, you have other stuff which you can use to make a nice, neat looking app. It's not going to be like super boring or anything like that. So yeah, I think we're just going to go with Kotlin JVM for now, because I don't think we have like easy information on Kotlin multi-platform. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, we'll get around to it, because there's always a way to convert these things. It's just probably a little more difficult, right? So I'm gonna check this box. Cool. Yeah, maybe we can run this wizard again later. I don't know. Kotlin Dsl build script? No, I don't need that. Okay, I don't know what that is. Kotlin Dsl build script. Let's look that up. Let's look up anything, right? I'm gonna use Google for this because DuckDuckGo sometimes screws up on search results. DSL build script. DDG is nice, but occasionally it doesn't. It's not ideal. Occasionally, it's rare, but yeah. Groovy based equivalent DSL is implemented on top of Gradle's. Oh. Wait. What? Hang on. I can write. Yo, that's amazing. Wait, what? Am I reading this right? Can I actually use Kotlin all the way down to the Gradle file? Because I don't know Groovy. Groovy is not difficult. I mean, I've looked at Gradle build scripts. I've made changes to it before. But if we can do it in Kotlin, that would be amazing. Groovy-based equivalent, the Kotlin DSL is implemented. What's the catch? Is there a catch? Like, does it miss features? Let's just look at this. Let's actually look at this. Okay. because this is awesome. I don't mind if it causes a delay with other stuff. This is actually pretty fucking amazing. Let's take a look at this. So, okay, let's see. Gradle's Kotlin Dsl provides an alternative syntax to the traditional Groovy DSL. Okay. With an enhanced editing experience in supported IDEs, which is obviously got to be IntelliJ IDEA right here. Yeah, awesome. Okay. I don't know who uses Eclipse for Kotlin. Kotlin really only has official support in IntelliJ because the makers of IntelliJ are the people who made Kotlin. Kotlin itself as a language is open source. IntelliJ really isn't. At least I don't think it is. I don't know if they've gone open source at any point of time, but it is really a commercial product. What I'm using is IntelliJ Community, which is free completely, and that's quite nice. But it's really nice. Trust me, it's probably the best editor I've used outside of VS Code. VS Code is really nice for editing like smaller amounts of files, and if you're working with JavaScript or TypeScript or something like that, even Python, it's really nice. But Java and Kotlin, you really cannot do without. Like, I mean, you can do without, but you will not come close to the experience that you have in IntelliJ. It's really good. And I'm not sponsored or anything like that for obvious reasons. I mean, I don't think I have any live viewers right now. So again, if there are any people watching, please do say hi in the chat. I will be glancing occasionally at it. Ask any questions as they come up. So yeah. All right. So apart from that, right. So the thing is, yeah, so IntelliJ, again, probably the best experience. So I don't think any of the other IDs are like fully supported. The semantic editor is missing on all of them. Visual Studio, oh my god, people still use Visual Studio. Yeah, that's a possibility. Anyway, so the Kotlin DSL. So what this means is that, so Gradle is the build system that we're using, and we will be looking into a lot of Gradle specifics. By the way, if you go to the same website and don't see a dark theme, that's because I have this little extension here called Dark Reader, which is fantastic. You should really take a look at it. It makes every website dark theme unless you specifically turn it off. So this is how the site looks normally. Okay. So I'm going to turn that back on. Okay. So, Kotlin, Gradle normally puts its build scripts, right? The configuration for how your Gradle projects get built into a language called Groovy. So Groovy is the language. Groovy is another language that runs on the JVM, just like Kotlin and Java. It runs on the JVM. It compiles down to Java bytecode, like the same bytecode that Java compiles down to. Yeah, so it's another JVM language. So you have a lot of JVM languages now. You have like popular ones, Kotlin, Java, of course, but not counting that one. But other languages that run on the JVM are like Kotlin, Scala, Groovy. I think we have more. Pretty sure we have more, but at least these are like the popular ones. But yeah, that's still 3 more languages than there were a few years ago. So before we only had Java. Java was the only thing that compiled down to the JVM bytecode. So right now, Groovy is there, but it turns out that Gradle gives you an option to use Kotlin to define build scripts in Gradle, which is fantastic, and it is something that I will be going for, assuming it doesn't have... Oh, there is a limitations section. Okay. It's discontinued, so I don't care. This is a fresh project, so I don't care. I think Gradle model, in order to get content assist and refactoring support. Dude, refactoring support in Kotlin, in IntelliJ, for a goddamn build script. That's amazing. That's actually great. It doesn't seem like there are a lot of limitations. I think this is an option we absolutely should go for. So what this means is, like, if I enable this, everything will be in Kotlin, down to the build script. We don't have to write any code in any other language for, at least as far as I can think of, in this project, because usually what happens is that your build scripts are written in a different language. So you define your builds in Gradle using Groovy, and in if you use like Maven, so Maven is another option here, right? So Maven is another option here, or the much older Ant build system. And you really shouldn't be using Ant for any good reason anymore. But if you use any of those to build, if you use any of those to like build Java or any JVM language, you will be writing like in Maven and Ant, you will kind of be defining your build scripts in XML. And XML sucks. XML is horrendous. Oh my god, I hate XML. Anyway, work vibes. Don't want to think about that. But Gradle's quite nice, and Gradle defines it in Groovy. So this is a blank Kotlin project which doesn't have like a build system. Actually, no, you can define a build system here. By default, it used to be that this would go into IntelliJ. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. Okay. Actually, now that I look at it, JVM application or console application. Oh, okay. Shit. This is probably what we want, right? Wait, does this mean that it replaces the Android API? What does this mean? Wow, this is a lot of Googling that I did not expect to do today. I know a lot less about this than I expected. And I already expected to know very little in general. But this is significantly less. Holy shit. Okay. There have to be limitations with this. Come on. They can't have made something that completely works for every particular use case on Android and single code based platform specific code where it's necessary. Okay. That's amazing. That's honestly amazing. Holy shit. Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. What does this say? Oh. So we put all the shared code in a separate folder, and we put all the iOS code in something. And of course, I'm not really going to go into the iOS specifics right now. I have no way of testing that. I don't have an iPhone anywhere in like a 10-mile radius around me. But it's exciting that this is a possibility, right? I am, like I said, we would like to over-engineer in certain directions. This is one direction that I would be willing to take. This sounds amazing. Okay. Really? Okay. So this means that we don't actually have to expect actual pattern. I don't even know what that is. I've never seen that in my life. What is that? Is that a Kotlin feature? Okay, it's currently in beta. Okay. Of course it is. There had to be some... Yeah, of course there had to be some caveats to this, right? Like, okay. There had to be some caveats to this. Come on, yeah. Of course, okay. So this means... So, okay, so you have common, which is expect random UUID, which returns a string. A UUID is just a universally unique identification. Yeah, UUID, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it stands for. But that's just a random. It's just a random ID, right? Like, you know, you can get shit. You can get that by, you know, essentially something that looks like that, except it's gonna be a lot longer. Like, I'm pretty sure it's like 256 in length or something. No, it's not. It's nowhere near this long. I think it's somewhere around like this long or something like that. Anyway, it's a UUID. It has some hyphens in it, and it has mostly URL safe characters, which means that it won't have slashes or anything like that. it'll have things that you can put in a URL, right? So it's URL safe. I think it's just alphanumerics and hyphens, I believe. Anyway, so whatever. That was a tangent I did not want to go on. Okay. Android. Okay, so on Android, for an Android phone, the code I would be writing. So here I put the expect keyword, and then I put an actual keyword for the actual when I define it with the actual Android API. So fun. Okay. Wow. Okay. So this is more like an interface, which we define an interface that it returns a string, and then when we actually define it, we have to use the actual keyword. I don't know how this works at all. Expected declaration. Yes, so it's like an interface, right? And the platform source sets must provide the actual declaration that corresponds to the expected declaration. I'm amazed that this is a thing that you can do in the language, that this is a thing you can do in the platform. That is freaking amazing. Like, holy heck, wow. Okay. Only for Kotlin declarations that have, even though doing so takes more time. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think for the most part, we will be writing the bulk of our code to not actually have to interact with the Android framework. But let's do it, right? Yeah, let's do this. Because we'll do this, and if it doesn't work out, we can always, because the way we're going to be writing the code, we should be able to like freely extract stuff, drop them into a separate code base, a separate library, something like that, and just move on from there. So, if it's not working out, what I'm going to do is really simple. I am going to abandon the multi-platform stuff, right? If it's not working out for any reason, if it happens to be slow, or it happens to be, just cumbersome to set up, we'll just kick out all of that part of the code, which isn't platform specific, and we can implement like an Android app layer on top, which just does it. Okay, cool. Okay, I am excited for this. This is awesome. Okay, I honestly didn't even know this existed until right this very second. This is frankly fantastic. This is amazing. Okay, what are the other options we have in here? Because now I'm just curious, really. Okay, so the problem with these kinds of stuff, is that they get like super generic. But oh wait, hang on. Oh, does it add in an iOS? Oh, we don't want to do this now. Yeah, no, look, the problem is it predefines a project structure which includes the iOS runtime, and that's not a target that I actually want to work on for the time being, because as I said, I have no way of testing it using, and again, with mobile applications, there are emulators and stuff like that. Now, I haven't looked into iOS for a single second of my waking life. Not really a fan of the company, but that's like a whole other discussion. Let's not go there. But I haven't really looked into iOS development or anything like that for any time at all. I have no idea if they even have an emulator. I think I know for a fact that you can't actually develop a native iOS application without having, like, I think it was Xcode on a Mac, right? Xcode is the IDE that they use for iOS dev. Without having Xcode open on a Mac, I don't think you can actually write iOS applications natively. This is probably not going to be like natively compiled, like it's probably going to use something else, some other mechanism for this. But the basic idea is that we can't test this easily because I don't have an iPhone and I don't plan on getting one. So yeah, it's kind of sad. Okay, but I would have really liked to go with this, but it's sad that this is actually the project structure that it creates for you. Yeah. The module, common target. Android target, iOS target, iOS module, Android module. It is very enticing though. It is so cool. We'll probably do this as a prototype on a later stream, but for now, I think we'll go with like just in, Gradle Kotlin, Gradle Groovy, IntelliJ. Yeah, we'll go with Gradle Kotlin. That's for sure. Because it doesn't seem like there are many downsides to this. Heck, it doesn't seem like there are any downsides to this. Where did that go? Yeah, here it is. It doesn't seem like there are any downsides to this at all. Embedded Kotlin compiler, knowledge of the Kotlin syntax, basic language. Yeah, I'm okay with this. I haven't really written any actual projects in Kotlin, but I've looked at it enough such that I actually get what's going on. Like, I know what's the, I know the basic structure for most things. Some things are probably no longer in memory, but for the most part, like, it's fine. Yeah, okay. Plugins block to declare Gradle plugins. I have no idea what any of this is. Okay, oh my god, this is so cool. Okay. Oh, they have documentation that actually switches between. Holy shit. Okay. We will go over Gradle documentation, by the way, in some level of depth, because Gradle is certainly something that I have wanted to learn properly for a while now. Like, Gradle is not something that is straightforward. It's not something like super simple. It is a fairly nuanced build system. It's fairly advanced. It is very advanced. It is very recent, which makes it quite advanced, because they have found a lot of mistakes from the past, which things like Ant have done and things like that, and they've sort of fixed it. And you define your build scripts in an actual intelligent language, and not something where you can actually run analysis, you can run tools on, and like Groovy was what they started with, and now it's there on Kotlin, which is fantastic. And not something like XML, right? Which is cool, which is really cool. So Gradle is a good build system, and it has a huge API. It has a lot of stuff, and I really want to understand the core aspects of it a lot better than I do right now, because for the most part, I find that people treat build systems, version control, things like that in a very superficial manner, where they kind of just go like, yeah, whatever I see in front of me, whatever is like suggested, I'll just Google and find some shit on Stack Overflow to get this fixed, and they just use that. They don't actually think about what they're doing. They don't actually think about how the build system works. Even on version control, like with Git, I find this is like a very, very common thing, and this is how people screw up their repositories with completely unfixable configurations. Actually, that's a lie. Almost anything in Git can be fixed as long as you are patient and don't just run your fingers across the keyboard without thinking. So you can fix stuff on Git, but I have been approached by a lot of coworkers, by friends, who have been working on repositories and have completely screwed it up. And then half an hour to an hour later, it's all fixed. Because I take my time and sort of go over the Git history and stuff very carefully, and kind of understand exactly what needs to be done. So it's the same sort of thing. I took 2 years, believe it or not, to actually grok Git, to find out exactly how. And we will probably cover a session on Git at some point as well, as we go along. Like, it is something that I'll probably bring up and we'll go over. But Gradle is something that I still haven't understood, even though I've been using Gradle in various configurations for a while now. I use it at work. We use Ant for some stuff. We use Gradle for some stuff. Ant mostly for the legacy projects, and we use Gradle for the newer ones. I've used it at work. I've written Android applications before, and I've used it for those. And I have really not understood Gradle at all, right? It's not something that has made sense to me at a core level, and that is something that I actually want to fix. That is something that I actually want to get better at. So yeah. Okay. So we'll do that. We'll go with the Kotlin build script. We'll pick Kotlin Java, and we will integrate Android into this later because I know that's something we can actually do. Oh, this is a platform plugin. Okay, none of that stuff. I don't care. Okay. So project SDK, Java 11. Java 11 was what I have installed. You should go with whatever you have installed. What the hell is this? Oh, no, that's the platform plugin SDK. Okay, cool. Next, we're gonna name this with the name of our project, which is gonna be Plutus, right? And okay, for now, I think I'll name it Plutus Android because, like, if we plan to expand to like a web app or something like that, we'll figure that out, right? But for now, Plutus Android I think should be a good name because the repository name is something that is not something you can change easily. So yeah. Okay, so this is like for getting a essentially a package name, and you want this to be unique, ideally globally. So this is something that you use as a sort of starting point, right? So what we'll be using, usually company domain, Plutus Android, name of the artifact within the group, usually a project name. I think the artifact ID we can switch to just Plutus. Oh really? Okay. I'm sorry. Example.org. I don't know. I mean, we can technically write anything we want here. What would be a good top level stuff for all our projects, right? So I think we'll just go with me.m619 because Mindstormer619 is my username and me. So yeah, at some point I'll try to register the domain m619.me, but that's not necessary. Again, understand it's usually a company domain because this is usually the way companies go. Like for example, or if you would have pulled in some Google Java packages and stuff like that, you would have seen it starts with com.google. That's because usually that's what they go for, because domain names usually tend to be, not usually, domain names always tend to be unique, right? So you own a domain, no one else owns the same domain name. So it's usually a good way to kind of delineate a unique name for your package and just make sure. But this part doesn't matter. There's just like the top level stuff. The actual package name will have a lot more stuff in it. So we'll just stick with this, right? Plutus Android version 1.0 snapshot. Yeah, maybe. Sure. We'll change that stuff later if we can, if we want to. Right. So now we just wait and... Oh, that was quick. It's done. So, okay. And we'll take a look at this. Okay, let's fix this one. Configure automatically. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. The stream, for the screen blanking out, but that's like the Windows permission screen thing. It doesn't let you capture that. Probably a good thing. But essentially what that's doing was it sort of, just temporarily like disables my antivirus for this folder so that IntelliJ is able to scan stuff faster. So yeah, it's a thing that IntelliJ recommends, and obviously it's safe to do because there is literally nothing in this right now. There's no code, right? It's just empty, completely empty. So okay, so packages, we have nothing really, not even a source and test folder. Okay, we'll have to create all of that stuff. Let this go on, right? So in the meantime, let's just take a look at what we're looking at, so we can understand exactly what it's doing. Lighting is impossible using Gradle import. Oh my god, it is. It's so dramatic. It's impossible. It's not like, highlighting is disabled. it's impossible. Okay. That's cool. I'm okay with that. Wait, what? Come on, man. Do I have to upgrade Gradle? How do I do that? So this happens a lot while you're setting things up. You shouldn't worry about it. Unable to get Gradle home directory. Why? Why? The current Gradle version is not compatible with the Kotlin Gradle plugin. Please use Gradle 5.3 or newer, or the previous version of the Kotlin plugin. Now, we don't want to pull the Kotlin plugin back, right? I don't think that's smart. Can we upgrade the Gradle plugin? Yeah, that should be possible, right? Tools. Shit, I forgot where plugins are. You know what? Yeah, it's not here either. Yeah, Control-Shift-A is always a good thing because you can just search plugins and click enter, and there we go. Gradle bundled. It's bundled. Why is it not updated? Hello? How do I update the Gradle plugin? I can disable it. I don't want to disable it. I didn't expect to run into issues like this right off the bat. How do I upgrade the Gradle version? Is the Gradle version 5.2.1 mentioned anywhere in these where I can just sort of bump it up? Where is my Gradle installation? It should be a part of IntelliJ, right? I don't think... Oh, here it is. Okay, wait. Okay. Let's just search for this, right? So we'll copy that. Right. Oh. What does this do? Awesome. I love IntelliJ. It's really good. Maybe? It's one of these, right? I just wanna fix one of these. Let's just take a look at all of these. 5 to 6, 4 to 5. Really? Wait, am I on 4 to 5? No, I'm on 5 to 6. Okay. Okay. Okay, I really hope I didn't blow into the mic. That sounds horrible when that happens, but I can whistle quite well. I can whistle really well. Okay. See, this is why I want users in chat. It's kind of sad. We don't actually have any viewers yet. Do we? It says 1 viewer on my Twitch stats. If someone's viewing this right now, please say hi. Actually, that might be me. I don't know if it counts. I don't know if it counts myself as a viewer, but okay. It's kind of sad. Would like some suggestions on what to do. Okay. So that's obviously not it, right? We need something like this, but at the same time, I don't think we have Gradle installed anywhere outside of IntelliJ. Do we? Gradle. Oh, okay. Maybe we do. No. These are inside existing projects and stuff. Android. Oh yeah, I have an installation of Android Studio as well, which I really do want to get rid of because Android Studio is really just IntelliJ with Android plugins. It's not necessary to have both of them installed. You can install the Android plugins into IntelliJ and sort of get the functionality of both IDEs in one. there's no reason to have both installed. So yeah. Okay. Let's see now. What do I do here? This is such a fresh project. Okay. Did we actually install Gradle? Hang on. Let me just open the terminal here. Right. So we didn't install Gradle. Control Alt Shift S. Hang on. It's always okay. Modules. Libraries. Artifacts. SDKs. Global libraries. Problems. We have problems. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to add like sources and tests and stuff like that. Test resources. We'll have to add all sorts of modules to this. We don't have any right now, which is kind of sad, but inherit project, compile output path, use module, compile output path, out production. I don't know what any of that means. Probably don't want to change that. Where can I find the goddamn Gradle version? Ah, okay. Hang on. Fantastic. Okay. Oh, okay. Maybe. No. Oh, okay. For current project. Hang on. Let's just go over the other stuff. Now we have more links open. No, that's great. Oh. I think what happened was I updated my Kotlin plugin, but whatever bundled version of Gradle is present with it is not compatible. Ah man, please don't tell me I have to update IntelliJ for this. I don't want to update IntelliJ right now. That is such a long task. It's gonna download gigabytes. So this is an Android, but build tools Gradle. That's where I was, right? Build tools Gradle, yeah. But I don't see that option. try this. Apply. Okay. Import changes. Where can I find this? Oh, where are we? Where is this file? Can I just change this to 5.3? I don't think so, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. That outputs. That's an output. Shit. Okay. Boys, what do we do? Oh, wait. Project path. Use qualified modules. Yeah, if something doesn't work, it's ideal to just go back and undo whatever you just did, because that's gonna otherwise what happens is, like, you have a compounding set of things that you do, and you aren't actually able to figure out what was it that was the problem, like what fixed the issue, right? Because usually it's gonna be one thing. It's almost never gonna be that you're required to do two things to fix a particular problem. It's gonna be one specific thing. So yeah, okay. Oh, God help me. Okay. What are we doing? We can try to bump the version of the Kotlin plugin down. I'm not sure if that'll work. But that's really not something I want to do, because I don't want to reduce the features of the program that we're using just to make the Gradle build work. I would rather upgrade Gradle than downgrade the language version, because yeah, that doesn't seem to be like a good idea to me. Okay. Kotlin 1.4.10 Gradle. Okay. Configure dependencies. Multi-platform, blah, blah, blah. Uses blah, 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 blah. You know what? Okay. It looks for Gradle somewhere, right? So what was that folder? Let's open Gradle. Let's open the settings. Where does it look for Gradle? Here. Okay. That's my home folder. So let's just open that, right? So see users .set Gradle. Git bash. cd c users. Amazing. Okay. So here's where we are with Gradle. Can we upgrade Gradle here? Okay. The struggle, ladies and gentlemen. Software is a struggle. So that's the thing, because like we are setting out to do something specific, and this is completely unrelated to that. Like these kinds of problems, which you will often find when you're working on projects, are the kind that you don't actually anticipate, because this is not something that's related to your project at all, right? It's probably some versions, some dependencies. Of course, like in a corporate environment or something like that, like an actual industrial setting, you're gonna have some differences with that. Like it's not gonna be the same kind of problem. It's gonna be better, like in the sense for these things very specifically, it's gonna be better. in the sense that you're not gonna have like issues with being able to find the right versions or having to perform a local upgrade or something like that. That's usually, there are going to be entire teams taking care of that for you, but it is something that you're going to have to deal with when you're working on projects on your own. But the same kinds of problems, like in general, the kinds of problems that you don't expect are the ones that bite you, just like this, right? And they might be completely unrelated to the actual piece of work that you're trying to do. They might be completely unrelated. So okay, offline mode. Okay, let's just read this. New Gradle project, blah blah blah, project SDK. What is this saying? No, I don't want to do any of that. I want to upgrade my Gradle. Okay. Okay, where is the Gradle wrapper properties file, right? Nothing? Okay. What is this? I have no idea what any of this is. This weird champ. What is this? This is the definition of not POG, ladies and gentlemen. What? Okay. There's nothing in that. Group. Probably gonna regret this one for reasons later. Let's see. Because I don't know what it is, right? So probably shouldn't have changed it. Should have left it at org example. I don't know. Maybe we can change it now. Yeah, I mean, we can change it now. Probably can't change it later. That's fine. Yeah, we'll worry about that when we get there. Why is there no Gradle wrapper properties? Does that create only after the first successful build? Is that how that works? Okay. Maybe what I want to do is, okay, wait. Firstly, we don't have that here. Okay. What are the different places we can find this Gradle W file, right? We have it on the Android projects. We have it on this Java project here, but not on the Kotlin project. Okay. What the hell? Okay. Yeah, it's so these are all specific, right? Okay. Oh, okay. They're all part of the same file. Okay. Generating the initial wrapper files is a one-time process. Every vanilla Gradle build comes with a built-in task called wrapper. You will be able to find the task listed under blah blah blah. When listing the tasks, executing the wrapper generates the wrapper files in the project directory. Okay. Okay. Subproject build Gradle KDS. So in our case, it's at the top level there. And we need the Gradle W file. Yeah. That's what I felt I was missing. What the hell? Why has it not created a Gradle W project file for us? We didn't screw up anything, right? We did this the right way. Yeah, it's a Gradle Kotlin project. I'll tell you what. Let's try something else. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's try something else entirely, right? What we're gonna try is we are gonna close this, we're gonna get rid of it, and we're gonna do this again, right? And essentially, let's close that, let's delete that. Okay. Plutus, Android, I mean, yeah, okay, sure. Cool. We got rid of it completely, right? Cool. It's gone from here. Let's do that again, except this time we will go with Kotlin. We'll create an application. We'll select Gradle Kotlin. And cool. Yeah. Yeah, let's try this. Let's try something completely different, right? Oh, yeah. I'd use Dartset.me. Okay, so Dartset is just a nice anagram of my name. My name is Siddharth, Siddarth. And so this is just, yeah, I have a t-shirt that says this. Kind of cheesy, but yeah, I like it. And okay, we'll stick with that. Okay, Plutus Android version 1.0 snapshot. Next. Can we change this? Oh, no, we can't. Okay. Oh, none of these can be modified. Okay. Common is common. Sure. I don't know what any of this means. Let's do that. Whoa, okay. Now it's downloading Gradle 6.3. Incredible. Okay. We'll fix this. We'll fix this. Okay. Why was it using Gradle 5.2, I think, for the previous one, but it's sort of downloading Gradle 6.3 for this? I don't know. Sort of the problem with build performance, yeah. Okay, it's gonna take a bit. I don't know what it's doing. I actually have no idea at this point, like, because this is something I have not set up before. This is something I'm setting up fresh, right? So Please initialize at least one Kotlin target in Plutus Android. Cool, we have a source folder, which is fantastic. Setting up targets. What does that mean? It just redirected me elsewhere. Okay. All right. Share code among all platforms used in your project. Mac OS main, Linux, blah, 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 JV main. Okay. Share code among some platforms. Okay, and common main is used by everything. Include in your project, but not all. Okay. Hierarchical structure. Target shortcuts for common combinations of targets. What's that? Oh, okay. I see. Okay. Okay. Free stable. Use it even in the most. It's done. Okay. Let's see. I've been streaming for a while longer than I thought I would. Okay. Plutus Android, please reference at least one Kotlin target. I think probably gonna be common test. I'm sorry, what? Okay, awesome. But we do have a Gradle wrapper this time. Really nice. Yep, Gradle 6.3. We are using a very decent version of Gradle for this one, which is great. Really great. I don't know what happened last time, why I didn't actually get, pull down the Gradle wrapper as well. That's actually just like weird jump. Like it makes no sense. But yeah, okay. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay. Kotlin multi-platform. Okay, there's the plugin. Okay. Code insight unavailable. Configuration for this script wasn't received during the last Gradle project report. Refresh that. Targets. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Compilations. Okay. So, okay. I mean, we are going to have a JVM target, right? We are going to have... Actually, we're just going to have an Android target, I think. I don't know what that means. Why is this on line 2? Not on line 1? Again, weird stuff. Okay. Oh, import. No, that wasn't it. I thought that would work because it was listed here. Okay. In any target block, you can use the following declarations. Attributes for disambiguating targets for a single platform. Okay. Preset, the preset that the target has been created from, if any. Platform type designates the Kotlin platform. Available values are JVM. Okay. Maybe this wasn't the right play. Okay, let's keep things simple. Round 3. We're gonna exit that. Shit, that wasn't what I intended to do at all. That really wasn't what I intended to do. I didn't want to close. I just wanted to close the project. I didn't want to exit IntelliJ. I'm sorry, chat. IntelliJ is always a little bit slow to open, as you would expect with any kind of significantly sized IDE like this, right? So I can understand. Okay, so what we're going to do with round 3 is we're going to go with the simplest possible approach. We are going to create a Kotlin Gradle project without any bells and whistles at all, and we are going to enable it from the Kotlin side instead of the Gradle side, because for some reason one part of it isn't working. So let's not repeat the same thing. Let's close the project. Okay, let's get rid of it from there. Hopefully it's not running anything asynchronously. Let's RMRF Plutus Android. Okay, clear and ls. Awesome, cool. Let's do that again. Right, this time we'll go with Kotlin. We'll just create an application. Again, we're gonna call it Plutus Android. Actually, we'll just call it Plutus, right? We'll make Plutus core separately later on if we want, right? But for now, since it's really mainly just gonna be an Android app, we'll just call it Plutus. So application, okay. Next. Cool. Name, we can't change that. None. Console application, KTOS server. It's not a console application. It's not whatever the last thing is. Okay. We can use JUnit 5. I think JUnit 5 will be a better thing to go with. Target JVM version 1.8. 1.8 is fine. That's Java 8. We aren't going to be using JVM features beyond Java 8. We will be using all of Java 8's features. But Kotlin currently doesn't depend on features which are introduced in later Java versions. So that's fine. And in any case, it kind of, compiles down to Java bytecode, and I don't think that has changed. I don't think that has changed in between Java 8 and later Java versions. Java 11, Java 14, things like that. So let's just fix this. Hello? Oh, okay. I think I should just wait for this. Or yeah, let's just wait. Might be impacting your build performance. Hopefully the camera doesn't obscure anything important on this corner of the screen. It really shouldn't, but it might, I hope. Yeah, I hope for the most part it's okay. In the meantime, let me just respond to mom. Hi mom. Mom has messaged. You know what? After this, like few moments later, I might want to switch the title, the stream information and stuff, and play a little bit of Apex on stream and see if my setup supports it, right? Because this whole thing is running on a laptop. It's a fairly powerful laptop, but at the same time, it's a laptop. It's a single laptop, and I'm not really sure I'll be able to play and stream at the same time. But I've wanted to test that for a while now. I was thinking of testing that on the weekend, but yeah, I don't know. While we're at it, might as well do it, right? So, yeah. Might just solo queue in Apex for a little bit. Let's see. Wow, this is... Holy shit. Why is it downloading JSON? Let's put this in the background. Let's fix this. Yeah, the stream goes black every time the Windows security dialog thing comes up. Because like if you want to disable Windows Defender for, you know, if you want to disable Windows Defender for a temporary period of time for any specific folder or something like that, you have to bypass Windows security settings. So you have to go through that. I don't mean bypass. I mean you're granted permission, basically. What is it doing? It's okay. Yeah. It's taking its sweet time with this one, weirdly enough. Do I have disk space? Yeah, I do. Not a lot on this drive, but I do. In general. Holy shit, okay. Yeah, well, setup is always gonna be a little bit slow. So we'll actually, you know, after this, we'll kind of stop, like even before we kind of committed to Git, which is really the first thing we'll be doing before we write any code, is we will be making an initial commit into a Git repository. But yeah, all of that, I think I'll defer to tomorrow. And yeah, we'll kind of actually get started on the real code tomorrow, because like there is only like a limited amount of time I have per day on this. So all of that time today, mostly, other than you know, we did have some useful stuff like this whole thing, right? We do have the idea of like what exactly we're gonna do, how we're gonna split, how we're gonna modularize things. We have an idea of that, and we are essentially gonna follow that for going forward. Yeah, so it's good to have a general concept, like a general map in your head, and the more you talk about it and the more you kind of you know, understand exactly what it is you're trying to do, like, you know, every time you make these diagrams and things like that, like things become clearer. Like you get a better idea of how you're gonna structure your project. You get a better idea of how you're gonna structure the overall you know, what was I gonna say? Like you get a better idea of how you're gonna structure the basic components that you're gonna put into your project. So, and that's a good thing to always be aware of. That's always a good thing to kind of keep clear in your head, because it is something that becomes fairly difficult later on once you are in the thick of it and you don't exactly have an idea of what you're doing, right? So that becomes difficult. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Oh, right. This is exactly what we want. Okay. I should have gone with this from the very beginning. This is fantastic. Okay. So, okay. Shell check. Nah. Okay. So this is exactly what we want. We have an empty project which has a main folder and which has a test folder. And this is the folder into which we will write all of our unit tests and other types of tests as well, integration tests and whatnot. This is the this is the folder where we will write all our code. And this is really the start of the entire cycle that we're going to follow, where we're going to write a test for a piece of functionality, and then we're going to write the code to implement that piece of functionality and cycle back and forth between them. And this way we're going to implement 100% of what we're going to do, right? So that way we have like extremely high test coverage. And at the same time, one extra thing that we're going to do is we are going to commit this frequently to Git. We're not going to start that today, because understanding what it is out of all this that you need to commit to Git itself is a task, right? It is something that you have to understand, because the thing with Git is that if you haven't committed a file, you risk losing historical information about it. You also risk losing the file entirely, because you have no backups of it in the repository, right? But most importantly, you risk losing changes, the change list, the change log, like historical information about it. So your past, if you check out a version in the past, from the past, it will probably not build, because there was some crucial change which was not part of it. So not including something in Git which needs to be included is bad, but including something which shouldn't have been included is also bad, because then what happens is it kind of tends to, usually those are settings that you have set locally for your system and your system alone. Like, for example, there might be some IntelliJ specific settings that I might set for my copy of IntelliJ, and that's not something that should be shared across to everybody, because when that happens, whenever somebody else checks out the project, their settings get overwritten with mine, right? Which is kind of horrible. So that is bad, as well as like we have problems with that just lasting for way too long in the repositories. And once you add things to Git, it's kind of very difficult to get rid of them permanently. There are ways to do it again, but it's hard because Git is configured really to kind of keep all information for the most part. Like, Git tries to preserve as much information as it possibly can. It tries to never lose anything permanently. It always tries to keep things alive. So yeah. So we kind of have to figure out which of these files, because I'm pretty sure, like, for example, I don't think we should be checking in the Gradle W files file. I'm pretty sure this gets generated or this is downloadable separately, but I'm not completely certain about that, right? Because this is not something we're going to be editing locally. I don't think we're going to be making any changes to this. This is a shell script. Shell check. I want to install shell check. I can install shell check later if I want to. It's fine. And plugins ignore. I don't care about the batch files. This is what gets run on Windows. .bat files, which are sad. This is, these are the the Linux shell scripts, which is what I use, by the way, over here in Git Bash. So my terminal of choice is Git Bash on Windows, which lets me use bash commands, which lets me use all sorts of Linux commands, but it's all in the Windows environment, and it kind of rewrites paths and things like that. It's kind of neat. It's nice. I don't use the Windows subsystem for Linux, WSL. I don't use that because the last time I tried to set it up, I ran into some pretty hardcore problems, and so I just decided to stop it right there. But that might be a better approach. It's something you might want to look into, but for me this works, and it's something I have installed, generally speaking, anyway, on all my systems. It is available to me at my system at work as well, which is nice. So it is generally speaking, like, it's like a universal way for me to run things. So yeah, I can run basic bash scripts. I can't really install anything using apt-get or things like that, but I can install, I can run all of the basic stuff, including like Vim if I want to, for some strange reason. But yeah, I can basically run most Linux utilities, like, basic Linux stuff, which are accessible in the shell. So all of that, I'm pretty sure even this might work because it is an MSys, I think. Yeah. I think even this script might actually just work by running it in git bash, but yeah, whatever, like I'm not going to be triggering any of this by hand. The question is, should I leave this in the repository? I don't know, right? And this local.properties probably shouldn't be, again, even though it's empty. I'm pretty sure that this will get filled in automatically by IntelliJ when I make some local changes to the way things work, to the way some local paths are configured and things like that. So this again looks like a file that I may not need to commit. Pretty sure the Gradle.properties and the Gradle.kts, the build Gradle and the settings Gradle file, are the only things that I should be requiring to push up, right, to the repository out of all this stuff. But I'm not sure. Like this, and this, just these three, right? I'm pretty sure that these three shouldn't get pushed to the repository, but I can't be certain. That's something we will check next time. I don't want to derail myself too much. I don't want to go into that right now. As for the idea folder, most of these files won't get checked in. I know that for a fact, but I'm not actually sure about all of them. And this is all like these are XML files which are written by IntelliJ. That's why they're .idea. IntelliJ IDEA is the full name of the plugin, as you can see right here at the top, right? So yeah, okay. What is this change list manager? What the hell are all these things? What is a change list manager? Why are these so opaque? Hard, okay. Component, external projects data. Okay. Yeah, no, I have no idea what like 90% of these things are, and yeah, it's kind of sad. I don't know what most of these things do. We'll find out whether we need to check in any of this stuff, like encodings. Probably does need to get checked in, because I'm pretty sure this is project level stuff that we use UTF-8 for all the files with no byte order mark. That's what BOM is, with no byte order mark. Pretty sure these are all like project level settings. I don't think these are like specific to my project only. So we might actually check in all of this stuff. Like I'm not seeing anything here which looks like it might be something which is used only in my particular, because code style config use per project settings, project.xml. Yeah. Because all these, like under code style and stuff like that, really look like things that should be shared across. Because if you have multiple people working on this repository using IntelliJ IDEA, they kind of have to be using the same code style and stuff like that, so you can actually kind of go with. Of course, one thing we're gonna do right now is to change settings. Is to change the indentation to tabs. There are very good reasons for that, which I shall go into sometime in the future. But I'm a tab person. I don't like spaces. I understand that some of my existing projects are in spaces. Kind of got used to it because that seems to be the global standard. Really, it's really sad. I despise the fact that that's the global standard. It is so sad, but it does seem to be. And my projects at work use it, for instance, because following that convention is really more important than anything else. If there's already an established convention for something like this, it's not really worth going against it, right? It's not. I mean, it does make a difference, but it's not something worth going against if you haven't actually if you haven't actually like started your project using it, right? It's not worth going against it. If you have hundreds of files of code already, and large projects will have like literally millions of lines of code, and if you have that much and it's all in spaces, you really shouldn't be going around trying to change things to tabs, no matter how much you like tabs. Mostly telling this to myself. It's sad, but yeah. Okay, let me figure out where tabs. Editor tabs. No, not that. Those are these things. That's not what I need. Code style, Java, Kotlin. Yes, please. Smart tabs, no. I don't know what smart tabs does. I'll be able to test that out, right? So what? But it's not supposed to insert it. Don't insert space. Fuck you. Don't insert spaces. Come on. What is it doing? Okay, that wasn't the option. Tab size, indent, continuation, indent 8. No, let's keep everything as 4. Okay. Why is it inserting spaces? I did take use tab character. It keep indents on empty lines. No. That should be disabled. Apply. Oh, maybe I had to apply it first. Okay. And once I've done that, that did not fix things. These are spaces. Why is it inserting spaces? That did not fix anything. What was that option for? God damn it. Line separator is system dependent. Yeah, okay. Hard wrap at 120 columns, wrap on typing. Wait, what? Do I want to do that? Do I want a hard wrap? I don't think so. I don't know what smart tabs are. I don't think I want that, whatever it is. One guide or several visual guides optional, columns. Yeah, this is usually a good thing. So if you have files already in spaces, you want to continue using spaces. We'll do this at the project level for now. I don't ever want to indent anything with 8. Keep indents on empty lines, no. Label indent 0, absolute label indent. Do not indent top level class members. Yeah, we'll leave all of those at default for now, and if I feel like I want to change something at some point, I will change it at that moment. But for now, use tab character, apply, okay. Okay, awesome. That changes the project code style config. Yes, per project is true, and this is the project code style settings. Okay. Okay, it sets it for both Java and Kotlin. Okay. Option name code style defaults. Kotlin official. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. Let's just try creating a new Kotlin file or class, and I'll call this just example test. So example test.kt is really the Kotlin file that I've made, and we are gonna okay. Is that a thing? Wait, what? What the hell is Kotlin? Okay, I need to see this. Okay. Come on. Doctor, come on. test functions and a set of utility functions for performing assertions independently of the test framework being used. I am amazed. Okay, so we're gonna do one thing. Only generate copyright, nothing else. This is marked as a okay. I'll tell you what. Let's do one thing. Let's delete this. Okay. Let's create a new package first. Right, and I'll call this me.throwaway because this is gonna contain some throwaway code. And let's add a new Kotlin class called example test. Right, and cool. Inside example test.kt, we are gonna, oh fantastic, those are tabs. Ooh, those are tabs. Beautiful. But yeah, they kind of look, show white spaces. Settings appearance, show white spaces. Leading and trailing, indent guides. Is there a way I can make that look a bit different? Because that looks kind of like crap. Yeah, the spaces were a lot nicer, but the tabs aren't. Probably because of my theme, actually. Let me just change my editor theme, right? Theme. Yeah, see, that looks a lot better. I don't like this theme though. I really dislike this theme as compared to Darkula. Sorry, as compared to high contrast. I really like high contrast. Yeah, like, see, it's just so much easier to read stuff, right? I want to make this indent indicator a lot more transparent. Appearance, indent guides, yes. Yeah, this is like the kind of opacity that I want to reduce, but for the indent guide. Hang on. Appearance, show white space. General, white space. Where can I find that? That would be amazing if I can just aim high contrast here. White space. I know what this is. Okay. General, white spaces. Cool. FFFF is right, but I want this to be like brightness. Yeah, there we go. Choose. Apply. Pog. Okay. Look at that. It's there. You can see it, but it's muted as hell. It's nice. Actually, now for spaces, it kind of looks like way too muted. We'll fix that. We'll raise its brightness, right? But boy, that was exactly what I wanted. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. JUnit 5. Okay. Let's call this test. You know. Okay, this is fantastic. Let's call this test. I am so done with this. Okay. It is a terrible test name. Never name your test like this. And we are gonna assert. Okay. Oh, this is amazing. Okay. Assert equals the one equals 2, and we're going to go like 1 must equal 2. That's going to be our message. And we are going to run this test right now. Oops. And it should build. Yeah, I mean the first time it'll take a little bit. Because it's actually trying to it's actually trying to like instantiate everything. It's trying to compile whatever we have. So the first time it will take a little bit. It's actually taking a lot longer than a little bit. What's happening? Task manager san, what's going on? Oh, that's Firefox taking up the CPU as usual. It's amazing that OBS is taking up 4% of the CPU, but Firefox, which is probably just playing audio, I don't think it's doing anything else right now, is taking up 9%. OBS is literally crunching my stream right now and streaming it, and it is taking so little. Okay. What is going on? Why is it taking so long? IntelliJ instantiating tests. Yeah, okay. Can we force rebuild? I think we should. Yeah, I think we haven't actually built the project after we started writing stuff. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so yeah, of course, because I stopped it. I canceled it. But I think we should probably build it once. Okay, and let's run the test. Why is it taking time? I'm so done with this. Should I name the class as a test suite or something like that? No. It's going through now. It's going through now. That's weird. Build failed with an exception. For task test, no tests were found using for given includes. Try run with stack trace, run with blah blah blah. Something else I need to do? So what has it built? Throw away example test. Yeah, so it generated, so this is a decompiled class file and it has some compiled code. Okay, whatever, right? It did kind of, okay. Oh, maybe we have to run it from Gradle? Plutus, tasks, verification, test. No. Compile test Kotlin. Test. This should fail, right? That's the thing. The test should fail. Build. Build is, that was quick. Test classes. That was quick. Test. Shouldn't succeed. Should not succeed. What are we missing here? It's obviously something to do with the setup. I mean, it's supposed to fail, but not for this reason. This shouldn't be the reason, right? It's supposed to fail because 1 does not equal 2, even though it's gonna say that 1 must equal 2, right? What am I missing? Probably the modules. What? Plutus must not contain source root. The root already belongs to Plutus main. What? Oh, wait. Main is a source folder. Test is... Okay, wait. Just delete that. Just delete all of that. Let's mark this as a resource folder. Let's mark this as a source folder. Let's mark this as... Let's mark this as a test folder. And let's mark this as a test resource folder and click apply. Cancel. It's probably something we need to change here, that we need to add inside build.gradle or one of the properties files. But honestly, I was expecting there to be unmarked as test sources root. No, so it's already marked as a test sources root. So Plutus comes with two sort of, there's main and there is test. And test, okay, has already marked that, and this is already marked as a source. And here it's already marked as a test folder. So what's the problem? What is the problem? If it's already marked that way, what are we missing? Is my question, right? Like, this should work, but it's not. Example test. Tasks clean test and runs test. Okay, test blah blah blah. This is the argument. Gradle project Plutus. Yeah, there's only one Gradle project. That's a generated folder, that's fine. So build output. Kotlin test me. Kotlin compile test Kotlin. Libraries. What does it say? No test found. Okay, let's Google this because I don't think this is something super simple. No test found for given includes, right? So Gradle. I will fucking... No way, okay. Okay, that's probably it. Does it autocomplete? No. That is so sad. Okay. So... Really? Okay, okay. That honestly is so strange. So what is this? This says that... Okay, this is a DSL, right? So this says that migration rate interview, okay. We'll check out the migration guide. We'll check out a bunch of stuff, but... Test class, okay. JUnit support of Gradle. Kotlin Dsl, GitHub, master samples. Code quality, build.gradle.kts. Tasks, application. Wait, this is using JUnit 4. This doesn't have the code that they mentioned anymore. History. Let's see the history of this file. Jacoco. Import. Yeah, I'm suspecting whatever that guy found is probably no longer there, or I don't know. It's weird. Like I'm not able to find this information anywhere. This use JUnit platform. Oh, okay. This failed. I'm sorry, wait. Function call from within Lambda. Oh, okay. Oh, that's what this is. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Why not? Why not? Why not? And let's just run the tests again. And hopefully this time it should fail for the right reason. Please. seems to me like it should work, man. What's happening? Using this script doc, kind of sad. Okay. Probably should have stuck with JUnit 4 now that I think of it. I don't think we need any of the features specifically of JUnit 5. Import the test annotation from the correct library from JUnit Jupyter API test. That's really what we are using, yes. Gradle run test using, huh? Let's add this line as well, just in case. Okay. Let's do this again. Yeah, okay. I have officially no idea. Like, at all. That's weird. Okay. What? Okay. Wow, that's a lot of information. Oh. Is this what the problem is? Precondition violation exception. Cannot create launcher without adding at least one test engine. Consider adding an engine implementation jar to the class path. Oh, maybe the problem is that we actually haven't included JUnit 5. But we have test implementation. Kotlin module test JUnit 5. That's there as a dependency, right? External libraries. JUnit platform, commons 1.0.0, JUnit Jupyter. Yeah, this is JUnit 5. We have it. We have it. What's wrong? Have we done something else? Like, should the class be annotated somehow? At test suite. Okay. Yeah, I should turn off the debug flag. Run with scan to get full insights. Stack trace option to get the stack trace. Come on, java.exe, Gradle worker. Okay, use the language user variant. Build classes Java test not found. What? Java test? It's Kotlin test. Why? Okay, okay. I didn't expect to have to do this kind of debugging. Can I pull this out? View mode. Load. Yeah. Shit, where did it go? Oh no. Uh, oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, okay. I just kind of want to make this large and okay, wait. Right click, view mode, window. If I put it as a separate window, I think we should be able to resize this just by doing. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Help. Testing starts at okay, blah blah blah. Oh, so that's a task. Configure project. Plutus using this. Kotlin scripting plugin. Clean test. Caching disabled because build cache is disabled. I don't know why. Okay. Not up to date because it has not declared any outputs despite executing actions. What? Compile Kotlin. No source. No. That would be in compile test Kotlin. Okay. Build cache is disabled. Okay. Classes up to date. Skipping task classes as it has no action. Yeah, compile test Kotlin is really what we're trying to do, right? So process test resources, no source. Test classes up to date, no actions. Okay. JUnit 5 is a dependency for test, right? Yeah, let's see. Oh. Wait a minute. This is the thing. Yeah. Wait. Yes. Hang on. Hello? Come on. Just... okay. Open it, Edge. Come on. Open it somewhere, right? One failure. Failed test. Oh, it failed to execute. Cannot create launcher without at least one test engine. Engine implementation. Okay, cannot create launcher. I think this is the problem. Bing. I didn't do any of this. Okay. Oh, to run your test, you must have a test engine on the class path. JUnit Jupyter, you need to have JUnit Jupyter engine on the class path as well. As a dependency for blah blah blah. If you're only running via this, Eclipse, NetBeans, or non-beta version of IntelliJ, you'll definitely want the Jupyter test engine. What the hell is this? What is this? Oh, I screwed up. I really screwed up. I shouldn't have done this. Okay. I'll tell you what. Fuck all of this. We shall revert back to JUnit 4 because I don't think JUnit 5 functions normally. I shouldn't have tried that. I was pretty sure that it would be completely normal. Let's just get rid of that. And let's get rid of this as well. And let's just insert a test function using JUnit 4. And I am completely done with this. Okay. What's the problem now? Add JUnit 4 to class path. Yes, please. Yes, please. Maven? Really? Why Maven? Aren't we in a Gradle project? Wait, cancel. Let me go back to the builder Gradle. Right, and let's do 4 here. Import changes. Fog. Okay, seems to be working. I'm actually surprised. I'm legitimately surprised that is a thing that works. What does this do? dependency handler Kotlin, and it takes a module string. That's decompiled. Okay. Taking a dependency notation. I really need to find out how this works because it's not something I understand 100%, right? So okay, I'll tell you what. Let's delete this. So I see that JUnit 5 has disappeared from the libraries, which is good. Okay. I think we don't have to use any of that either. So let's undo that. I think this is gonna fail because let's try Gradle JUnit 4. Ouch, my eyes. Put this back on Firefox. Thank you, Edge. You have served your purpose. Let's see. Maybe? I swear, working with build systems is major pain. I don't know why these things don't work. Okay. It's probably just dash JUnit, isn't it? Probably this. Yep. It was that. Awesome. Okay. Cert. I'm sorry. Cert equals. Cool. And let's run this. Cool. Okay. Sorry, we're just getting spam from bots on chat. I think I'll need to add some sort of auto moderation for that. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. But yeah, one should equal itself. And if we run this now, there we go. It's fantastic. It actually works. Voila. Cool. JUnit 4 was the answer. JUnit 5 requires more complication. We will figure that out. I think JUnit 5 is something which we will add in as a task to check out later. Yeah, so let's just add a new project for this. So this is an application called Super Productivity. I'll explain more about this on the next stream, but this is what I use. So we're going to call that Plutus, our project name. And it seems pretty nice for a theme color. Actually, yeah, let's go with the yellow. Let's go with limey yellow. No, let's go with this. Yeah, looks better. Cool. Save. So we have Plutus. Less good, but okay. Check out JUnit 5. That's gonna be a task that we're gonna do, right? Yeah, and okay. So for forthcoming streams, we will kind of be using this to kind of track the time we spend on each task. Sort of, not exactly for the time, it's more like as a reminder as to what we are going to do on a specific day. I'll add more tasks to this probably off stream, and this, like, you know, we can just start and we'll have like a proper sort of a backlog of things we want to do, so we don't forget stuff. And yeah, but for now we have a working test where 1 equals 1, and that's fantastic. I think that is something cool. We actually have a working project. We have something that's set up and working, which is great, right? So yeah, we are using JUnit 4. I think for the time being we won't be using JUnit 5. I'll have to Google, find out the differences. I'll have to find out what that test engine bullshit is. It's got to be something, right? Let's find out. So yeah, as of now, it's been a fairly long stream. It's been around 3 hours. I think I will actually go off stream. I don't think I'll play Apex on stream, not given the current mental state I'm in. I am kind of sleepy, kind of tired. Probably gonna sleep in a short bit. I might still play some Apex, but yeah, probably not on stream. Anyway, so that's about it. This has been interesting. This has been educational. There are certainly a lot of things that I wanna look up, because the setup for this took a way longer than I thought it would. Way longer than I thought it would, really. It was it was a lot harder than I thought it would be. because we do have a lot of different configurations with this. We do have a lot of files that are generated by Gradle and a lot of other stuff that we kind of have to look into. But for the most part, we do have a working project. We can add code in here, and we can add... I'm sorry, what? Oh, okay. We can add code in there. We can add tests in there. And, you know, I can basically start making packages. I can start actually writing the code, writing the tests, and... or rather writing the tests first and then the code, because that's really the format we're going to go with. And tomorrow we will get started with implementing some basic functionality, doing a little bit of TDD, and hopefully we will keep this Android free for as long as possible. But the moment we have to start bringing it in, we will bring it in then, right? So yeah, up until then, see ya. So yeah, hopefully we will have a stream tomorrow. Hopefully a little bit earlier than usual, or rather not earlier than usual, but at least on time, as compared to today, where it started a bit late, and that's why it's like 1 a.m. right now, which you should be able to see right there. It's late. So like right here, it is really late here. I don't like to code at these hours. My brain does not work at these hours. So yeah, for now we figured out we need to use JUnit 4. We have made a plain Kotlin project using Gradle, and we will figure out how to integrate Android with this later. We will figure that out when that comes up. But up until then, yeah, this is pretty much all I have for today. It's been fun. It's been interesting. I'm doing this after a really long time. Kind of interesting to see how this all plays out. So yeah, that's about it, and I'm gonna stop right now. Peace.